it's hard to bash my team. You guys see what's going on. Don't let the commentators lie to you. Don't let these coaches lie to you. You see the look on Justin Fields' face. He's not even going to lie to you. All right, you already know what it is. Fourth Quarter Boyz Sports. It is me, the illustrious one, the magnificent Professor Lake in the building, man. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Be a Fourth Quarter Boy for life. Hit the notification icon. Donate to the Patreon. Let's keep these videos rolling out, man. Bears-Chiefs week was a debacle for the Chicago Bears. The Chiefs undressed the Chicago Bears offensively and defensively, and I definitely want to jump into that. But, a lot of my subscribers were contacting me about, just my opinion on the state of the Bears, and I do plan on doing something a little bit bigger, but I'll touch on certain things that happened during this week. One of the things that blindsided the fan base, the locker room, the organization as a whole, was Alan Williams resigning at the beginning of the season. A lot of people are saying that Bears shouldn't be hamstrung by Alan Williams resigning, but I still think that where the Bears are at right now, they need all hands on deck. And I'm not saying that Alan Williams was a great defensive coordinator. All I'm saying is, at the rate the Bears are going and the position that they find themselves in, this is something that could really be, detrimental just moving forward, just with the logistics of things. But the rumors surrounding Alan Williams are even more intriguing. John Z Sports reported that Charles Tillman broke the news that Alan Williams had the FBI raid the Hallis Hall and his home. Matt Eberflus cried about it, and Ryan Poles was shocked as well, or something like that. I think it was a little satire and comedy, but I do think John Z Sports was dead on in informing the fan base that Alan Williams had some conduct issues. So with that in mind, now we got Matt Eberflus head coaching and coaching the defense, and when they went up against the Chiefs, it was horrible. So with Alan Williams being gone, Eberflus stepping in there to be a defensive coordinator, I don't think it's going to make much of a difference as the season goes on, because, a lot of the Bears' woes have to do with personnel. And also, just as much as it has to do with personnel, it has to do with, the scheme. I think that the 4-3 defense is a outdated base scheme to be operating from. This is a passing league, and you need to be able to be adaptable with leaving your players on the field. And I think in the 4-3 defense, having to switch out the safety and the outside linebacker, playing zone all game for the most part. Offenses understand where the openings are in the 4-3. I think it's kind of a dated defense and philosophy to springboard your defense off of, unless you have the components to go there. And that we do not have. Our defensive front is not causing any pressure, and that's only causing more pressure on our secondary. But just a little piece about Alan Williams. I felt blindsided. I felt like the organization was probably blindsided as well. And, for all the media members out there that were taking shits on John Z Sports and saying that, he destroyed his career, and I had to give it to John Z, man. He stood on his sources, and, he seems like he's more right than wrong about the situation. But getting into the game per se, Chiefs versus the Bears, again, the defense had no pressure. We seen this coming, when we were looking at players in the offseason, who we could have brought in, what players in the draft might have been effective. And, the Bears were unable to hit anywhere, either in free agency or in the draft, when it came to getting a solid piece that could step right in there and be productive for your team on the defensive line. I think that was a failure. You failed your team, you failed your coach, and you failed that defense by not securing a one technique that's dominant, that can beat double teams, or drafting one. And you had an opportunity to do that as well. I'm not going to go back and forth and argue about that, but I will say this. You had an opportunity to get Jalen Carter, and you chose otherwise. And so going a little bit deeper into the defense, I think about Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards are 2 linebacker signings, and they're not even really, that explosive. TJ Edwards is being burnt left and right. Tremaine Edmonds, as big as he is, you would think that he'd be more explosive. You think that he'd be more of a force multiplier on the defense. Instead, he's catching blocks as well, missing tackles, taking horrible angles. I'm just not impressed by this linebacking crew. Of course, I'm a Roquan Smith fan, and I really thought that Ryan Poles should have worked out a deal with that, so I guess I'm showing myself and exposing my true feelings about everything that's going on. But, there are a lot of wrong moves. There are a lot of things that are taking place that lead us to this point to where the Bears are the new Browns. That's what's going on. I don't want to harp on them too much. There were opportunities that were given to the offense. They did get off the field a couple times, and the offense did not take advantage of that. And so I will give that much success to the Chicago Bears defense. They did get off the field a couple times. But one of the things that I just couldn't deal with as I watched that game was just in the back of my mind, knowing no matter what the Bears did on 1st and 2nd down, on 3rd down, the offense was going to convert. And that's just not a good feeling to have. When you're expecting your defense to give up 3rd and longs consistently, you're not going to win games. And I'm kind of getting frustrated with the 4-3 zone defense and keeping everything in front of you. We got to look at these guys like they're professionals. You have to start looking at it like, look, mano a mano, man on man. Let's do the best we can. We're going to send some blitzes. We're going to get to the quarterback by any means necessary, and we're going to live with the consequences. I mean, if you're going to give up 41 anyway, at least go out with your guns blazing. And I just don't understand the philosophy of playing it safe, being too conservative, not in the position that we're in. We got a young rookie, we got a young quarterback on the other side. It's really a veteran, to be honest with you. But we got a guy with not a lot of NFL experience, hasn't been that successful up to this point. When you can't get off the field, and when you can't get the ball back to your offense, and when the other team's opposing offense is just eating up clock, when you finally get the ball back on offense, the pressure's on. You have to do something with the ball. So just by nature of the limited time that our offense has to do something with scoring and the pressure that they're under, I mean, I can imagine how Justin Fields is feeling about the whole workflow of the game situation and how everything is going. He has to score, he has to move the ball, and sometimes the situation doesn't call for some of the plays that Getsy's is calling. Offensively, I had to take time, look at the tape, and just see, in general, what was going on before I jumped out there and exposed myself without having knowledge of what was really happening. But one of the things I did notice was that after looking at the all-22 film, there were situations where wide receivers weren't even open. Not even DJ Moore, not even underneath routes. And just listen to some of the commentary that some of the ex-quarterbacks were talking about just enlightened me on the basic concepts that Luke Getsy is giving Justin Fields to run this team. Defenses are prepared for that. Though that's like football one-on-one. It's almost like high schoolish or college level planning that Luke Getsy is doing right now. Now, is it Luke Getsy or is it Justin Fields? I'm not sure right now. I'm really not sure. I would venture to say that Luke Getsy is trying to dumb down the offensive scheme a little bit so that Justin Fields could play some plays fast, plays that he knows how to run and knows the reads that he needs to make and knows the protections that he needs to call. But wide receivers really weren't that open. But at the same time, Justin Fields looks lost. Seems like he's processing pretty slow. And it still seems like a guy that, he's unwilling to pull the trigger. You're down 41, man. Let that thing fly. Let it fly. I just don't understand what the psychology is at this point. I feel like Justin Fields is mentally broken. I think this coaching staff has done him very zero service as far as making him a better quarterback, analyzing the things that he needs to improve on, and creating an offense that really works with his skill set, works with his pace. Getsy, Luke Getsy, on the other hand, I think that by the end of the season, he needs to be gone. Luke Getsy needs to be fired. And things have to turn around drastically, but I'm just not a believer in that he knows how to adjust in game situations. His play calling is all over the place. It's just so many negative things I could say about Luke Getsy as far as preparing Justin Fields to be a better quarterback than what we're seeing. I have to put this down here, guys. Justin Fields, even though his stats don't show it, even though we've noticed some numbers that are pretty glaringly negative and saying bad things about Justin Fields, I don't want to take ownership away from Justin Fields in his career, but I think a lot of this has to do with the fact that he has an unexperienced offensive coordinator. He doesn't have the answers to some of these defenses that are playing against him. It's as simple as that. And unfortunately, by the end of this season, if the Bears make a decision to move off Justin Fields, or if Justin Fields demands a trade, those are the two likely scenarios, in my opinion, unless things turn around. And if they do turn around, if I was Justin Fields, I would still want to, get out of town. Let me go to Atlanta. Let me go to Las Vegas. Let me go somewhere where they have a competent offensive coordinator, where they're really doing things. Now, stepping back and looking at the whole entirety of this squad, I always thought that the hiring of Matt Eberflus was not a good idea. This hits principle should be the shits principle. I just don't think that he has the answers either. He's a defensive-minded coach, and the thing about it is, it's not like he's a Vic Fangio. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't had a defense like that, in my opinion. I don't know where all the hoopla came as far as him being such a great defensive coordinator. You're talking about a team, I want to say this is the AFC South. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we're talking about a team that's in the same division with some real weak teams. Of course they're going to have a decent defense. Of course they're going to play against teams with bad quarterbacks and look good. So I've never been a believer in Matt Eberflus. I thought it was a bad hire. I think the shits principle should be flushed down the toilet. And I think at this point he has lost the locker room. I believe he's lost the locker room. I don't think the guys are really feeling as though the coaches have the answers, other than hustle, intensity, tackling, and smarts. I just don't know what these professional men are thinking about in their mind, looking at their coach continue to spout the same stuff out week after week. So, that's my epic rant on Chiefs Bears week, the things and actions leading up to it. And again, I do want to plug the expose I have on Ryan Poles. I don't really care for none of the decisions Ryan Poles made up to this point either. Just to be frank with you, the guy totally gutted this team, put it in a casket and threw dirt on it. That's what happened. That's what happened. And he's drove it down further into the dirt this year with being too frugal with free agent capital, with being too pessimistic when it comes to edgy players, being too optimistic about reaching for players that don't show the skill set on tape. He relies on paper and traits. So this video is getting a little long. I definitely wanted to give a shout out to Chainmail, getting me back to talking about this Bears. But I'm gonna be honest with you fellas, man, it's hard to talk about. It's hard to bash my team. You guys see what's going on. Don't let the commentators lie to you. Don't let these coaches lie to you. You see the look on Justin Fields' face. He's not even going to lie to you. So I still think there's hope for Justin Fields. I hope this whole coaching staff gets fired by the end of the season, and we bring in somebody that's competent, somebody that can revive Justin Fields. He has a year to do it. If it doesn't work, hey, there's always next year. That's what the Bears say. Whatever, man. I'm a little litty about this, a little intense about talking about the Bears, because I seen this train wreck coming from miles away. And, hopefully, if you're one of the people who subscribe to this channel, you would have probably seen the same things too. But with all of that in mind, man, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer on a Friday, man. So this Sunday, the Bears are going to be playing the Denver Broncos. And, this looks to be one of these type of games, a toilet bowl game where one of these teams has to come out a winner. Hopefully it's the Bears, so we can have some sort of bragging rights about not being the worst team in the NFL as of yet. But, man, this is very disappointing. I try to subdue, my real feelings and be optimistic about this season. But, as the weeks go on, I will be dropping some more videos and just letting you know exactly what I really feel about what's been going on. And we're going to take a deep dive into Ryan Poles. Pause. We're going to take that dive. But with all of that in mind, you already know what it is. Fourth Quarter Boyz Sports. I am the illustrious one, the magnificent Professor Lake in the building. Like, comment, share, subscribe, be a Fourth Quarter Boy for life. Hit the notification icon for me. Donate to the Patreon, homie. Let's keep these videos rolling out. 1.
Nothing in life is free, bruv. Support the channel. Be a Fourth Quarter Boy for life. And subscribe to the Patreon. The link is in the description box below. Cardio. Double down, Debs and gents. The wait is over. With no further ado, the most magnificent imperial authority of the film room, the illustrious visionary of X's and O's, your host, Professor Lake.